Alright, so hello there, everyone. It's I, Soulsur17 here. Let me show us like usual. Don't own this picture. Well, actually, I don't own the pictures. Made the thumbnail, not a paid video. Okay, so I watched more episodes of Night, the Comic Got Killed. And, yeah, it's gonna kind of integrate still with this main story, but then afterwards, even if I watch it, I'm not gonna have it, become a part of, Comic Got Killed. Because some stuff won't be happening until a little bit later, so it's then be added a little more story. So, as last time I left off, and what I can remember, basically the emperor, basically the kid, found out about Zuko's life and what he's done, what he has done, and what he's ever done, and then he basically said to him, Night Raid is Night Raid is the ally, is his ally now, and he will support them. So, and Kuromi and Wave know about this, about him telling Izuku that, which they're kind of, from just by that statement, they realize Izuku was part of Night Raid. So, yeah, so that's where everything's ended. But now, we can get into the story. So, we're just gonna start when Izuku gets into the room with Deku, and now he's like, so, yeah, this is what Deku was, Isekai Part 6. So, as Deku walks into the room, he was like, okay, that was fucking terrifying. Which he was like, huh? What's wrong with Izuku? He's like, oh, nothing much, just, they, and just the king found out who I am and, who I work for. Which, she just look at him dead set in the face and be like, how are you? He's like, oh, easy. He basically said Night Raid is, he's allies with them now. And, yeah. Which, as this goes, like, just in shock. So, and, he says, also, you kind of working for him instead of the minister now. And hold on, I'm gonna be quiet so my parents can shut up. Okay, my parents are just talking about a TV show, but besides the point. Anyways, so, as Steph looking at him, thinking, because he just told her that the king said, the emperor said they're working for him now. And she does think, though, that could work out in our favor. We won't have to fight Night Raid, and plus we work together, Izuku's mission could get done sooner. But, she then remembered he has to go back to his world and finish something. And so she looks at him, and he can tell she's, worried. And Izuku was like, Steph, what's wrong? She goes, Izuku, promise me something, will you? He goes, yeah, what? If you go back to your world, don't ever forget me. In which he just looks at her, and then he remembers, yeah, shit, you're right. You don't know if you can come back into my world. He looks down for a minute, but then, he just, looks back up at her, and he says, no matter what happens, Steph, I won't forget anyone here. Besides, I probably won't fall in love with anyone else. Which, he just realized what he said, and he's like, oh shit, I literally just said that out loud. Which, I want to say, Urzip would be shocked, but happy, and hugs him, basically. And he was like, okay, so in this past month, I may have fell in love with you. A tiny bit. She says, don't care, still happy. And he's just like, getting smothered. I'll enjoy it. So he hugs back. So, after that little hug, and cuddle thing, they were talking, and she said she found the location of a kingdom, basically in the mountains, from the old book stories. Which she goes, huh? So she goes, but I don't want to stop cuddling. He's like, please, show me. She was fine. So she stops cuddling, goes back over to her desk, and she talks about a kingdom that was last used in Imperial Arms Dragon. The Wings of Dragon, basically. It's difficult to even get there, but it will take a month or two. But how can I say this? our there's a mission coming up where we're gonna have to go to a city and defend a second command church leader. And he's like, wait, what? She's, mm-hmm. And it's on the way there, though. Which Izuku thinks about. He's like, I told the king he can have a trip with us again. So, let's see how long it'll take for us to get there. Which she does not. So, basically, Izuku and Esdef and everyone's talking. And, well, they're basically are outside of the whole entire capital with no one spying on them because the king basically and the minister are basically doing some rules and stuff, looking at some stuff, basically rules on like what's gonna be law in this certain region, part of the country and stuff, which the ministers find out that the child, basically the emperor, basically the kid, slash king, emperor, king, whatever, is making these decisions a lot more than just listen to him. He's actually thinking and coming up with some laws that actually will benefit everyone else, even the kingdom. And he's thinking, I'm surprised that he's able to do this on his own. What has happened to him? Well, the emperor's the king or kid or emperor basically. I don't even know his name. You know what? I'm gonna look at it real quick. Hold on. Okay, so all his name is known as the emperor. So basically the kid. I'm just gonna call him now. Way more simpler. So basically the kid is basically just thinking, I see why Izuku taught me all these things to make me look at the past to the present and see what's happening outside my castle. How ignorant I was just to follow him blindly. But he has been my closest friend, I thought. And yet I'm just a puppet to him now. No, I always was. Keep my composure. Don't let him know. So basically, they just go on for there, and well, they go to their throne room, and doing what he still follows the minister around. The minister and his word, because he doesn't want to raise suspicions. So he already knows how crucial he is to surviving, and to him, helping out Izuku, which he kind of sees as a trustworthy person and a friend, if you can say. So basically this happens, and well, they ask, well, you just asked, Izuku, who are you anyways, and how do you even know Night Raid? Which Siru. Wait, hold on. I'm not messing that up. Oh, it turns out I wasn't. So basically, Siru was just looking at him. He was like, well, I kind of bullshit my way with a lie. And, well, I do have all my memories. And the reason why I have a Curcio is because the previous owner of it gave it to me. Bulat. I'm really terribly sorry about your 3 beasts, Esdef, but orders were orders. To protect the person from dying, that was against the minister's rules. Which, she goes, I do, and I actually am a little bit angry with you with that, but I can let it slide. He's like, really? He goes, for at least 2 hours of cuddles, and he's like, okay, I can handle that. Which everyone's just like, what the? He's like, yeah, I kind of told her I liked her. Which, well, we aren't official though, so. But I'm still willing to do what she wants. So that way she doesn't try to kill me. Which, as that does nod. And says she would try to. He doesn't listen to her. And he goes, yeah. So Siru goes like, but who? A part of SDS? Or you goes like, Cerberus gauntlets, Leviathan gloves. As all of a sudden, both, the gauntlets appear on his hand, and then he says, you're gonna be shocked by this, Siru, but as all of a sudden, the gates of hell appear right behind him. And that bright light is shown as then whole entire chains are wrapping around him. as all of a sudden he gets a little bit bigger, and then the chains break, revealing the Cerberus armor with the scarves around, with the thread around it making a scarf, which her eyes are shot. He goes, "Sorry about that, but I had to put you in your place." So, and you're about to see why I said all those things. In which he looks at Esdev and she just says, "Oh, I'm okay with seeing it all over again." And then inside her head she's thinking, "No, I'm not." So he just says, "Well, what you're about to see is something you would never expected. Welcome to my reality." As, well, all of a sudden, a black, void goes all around them. As Rune's thinking, what Imperial arm is this? Trump card? As in, well, they just see all of a sudden memories. It looks like they hear Zuko's voice and what's happened to him, everything. At the end of it, everyone was shocked. And basically going like, why is this? Because if he doesn't, then, if you really think about it, if he doesn't show them that, one, they can't mess with him, hold on. Okay, like I said, to show that they can't mess with him, show how dangerous he is, and show them. Compared to them, he's a lot more durable. And from his world, everything here is different and, well, yeah, he just shows up to a certain point of it and then it stops. Which everyone is shocked, and Siri goes like, "So Captain Ogre was evil?" "Yes. I'm sorry." Basically, he had the armor come off after the whole entire shadows covered him and stuff. Yes. And, wow. Dr. Styles was willing to eat his own members of his elite force. Luckily, I saved her and she's alive. She's with Night Raid. So, that is why, or should I say a little bit of stuff about me. You saw everything that I went from the world I came from. And up till I came to here. Which, even, Kuromi can't even believe it. She was, how? I've seen things that are, bad. Like, I've been through something bad. But having a world with powers, and yet, just because you're different, it's all the same, even in this world. Just because you're different, you get ostracized and bullied. Hell, you even get told to kill yourself. But knowing that there's corruption in my world, to the point where assassinations are on any civilian, heroes that are fake, and villains, it's kind of messed up. But your guys' world is extremely messed up from mine. Basically, to me, this is hell. When I go back to my world, it'll be like a walk in the park. Which they'll just look at him like, what the hell? He goes, so, being hunted down and have to kill maybe basically a 200-year-old man that likes to steal other people's quirks and save, or at least try to save, basically one of the past user's grandson. Hell, even killing him is just saving him. Then I have to do it. I promise. So, does anyone have any questions for me? Which Wave just says, "Yeah, I got one." He goes, "Huh? How come you, well, never try to fight back against that Bakugo guy?" He goes, in truth, I still see him as a friend. My childhood best friend still. But because my mindset changed, I can only see him as an acquaintance. Depends if he was going to apologize to me in the time, or say the current time I'm in. So, I mean, it would be kind of good. But if he doesn't apologize, then I probably just talk to him, but never really, keep in touch that much. But it doesn't matter. He's still giving me my friend Kachan after all. As in, he smiles when he says that. Which, as if blushes, and Kuromi for some reason does too. She was like, how can someone gone through a hell be so innocent? What the fuck? She doesn't understand how. Where she was just like, okay, brother, big brother's really, well, brother, whatever. She doesn't know what to say no more. Her mind's shot because the person that, she calls brother now was actually the man that killed her two people she cared about. And then she remembers what he says, and knowing that, she does kind of feel a little bit at ease. So, what we guys are planning is something that you all need to know. We found the Dragon Imperial arm, the wings, the wings of dragon, basically. And, well, the only one who can take them is me. But I want the king to come out with us, well, the emperor come out with us, to, well, show him what the world is like outside the castle and the empire, into another place altogether. But the minister's gonna be a tricky bastard, so me and Ezdev came with this idea. As in, he basically tells him about how we tricked the minister to think, well, only the royal blood can, unlock the power, or at least be able to, use it. The dragon's basically wings. And they may have found the location of it. We do not know yet. And so, there is no, records of saying it ever needed it and such because it went missing very quickly during the war after it was made. And yet, a royal did use it, but nearly died while doing so. So, the emperor would think it would need royal blood. So he would have no choice than to believe in it. Which, I wanted to say that sounds like a good idea. And Chromie, well, Chromie was just saying, so we're just gonna not try to fight Night Raid and yet work with them? He's like, uh-huh. No trying to kill each other now. And also, I have to talk to you, Chromie. In private. Which, she was like, huh? Which Esdev's going like, why does he need to talk to her? Maybe I should have faith in him, but there's something else I don't know about. So, after that, basically they go back into the capital, and, well, Izuku and her go into a room in privacy. He was like, listen, I've been wondering, why do you have that bag of snacks? It's just cookies. It always seems to need to be refilled. Why? She goes, well, it's simple. I'm always hungry. He goes, yeah, I don't think so. As then basically, Leviathan comes out. He was like, your life force is shrinking. He goes, so you are going to die. I knew it. She goes, wait, what? He was like, tell me what happened to you, Chromie. I'm here to listen. He basically leans against a wall, and she's just in a chair, in which SF is outside, and she basically explained her childhood, and for some reason she just tells him everything, and about the drugs she went through after her sister left. Basically the thing that, if she got to a near-death state, or basically near almost dead, her body will basically make her come back to life and be way more different. So, it was, I see. Leviathan, do you think we can heal her to the point where whatever they put in her won't kill her? He goes, I believe so. Your mastery of me has increased, along with Cerberus, since you've been training with, Esdev. Our bond has grew up to 100%. So, since you are Leviathan and Cerberus at once, you have way more control over than any user. You could probably have the drugs, the different type of the drugs that enhance her abilities still with it, in her and a part of her, but take out any of the downsides and the ones that are threatening her life. He goes, alright then. So, what is it? What do you choose, Chromie? Wait for a slow death and die? Or to be cured and be at full strength? Your choice. Which, as Dev is saying, still the heart of a hero. Even through this world, you still want to save people. And Kurumi goes like, how are you 100% sure it'll work? It's impossible to cure this. He goes, never doubt the impossible. Because I already faced against fate, and I crushed it. I had the help of a little girl named Eri, remember? Which her eyes widen and he goes like, so I think I can fight fate as much as I want. Because I always make my own. So, you want to try it, at least? She goes, fine. He goes, Leviathan, tell me on how much damage is done to her. I was like, well, it seems like she would die very soon, but because of you're here, it seems her life force is getting a little bit more time. It's like, interesting. Alright then. And basically he wraps the wires around her, covering her whole entire body whole, as then he goes, Leviathan, healing wave. Ocean. Engulf. As all of a sudden she starts to sink into the ground, while the strings basically are still around her, which is just black wood, basically, combined with the, well, Leviathan. So, as it, wrapping her, well, going, basically into the ground, he told her, he goes like, Esdeath, you can come out now. Which she does. He goes, huh, impressive. He's like, I said I can sense her life force, so I could easily sense yours. You can't stop it unless you're dead. She goes, true. So how is it? It was worse than we thought. But like I did said, you did increase it by you being here, Zuko. It's good. How long will it take? Well, since you engulfed her into the shadows, I'm able to heal her very much quicker. So, use all for one, and power it up a little bit more. Alright, how much? A good 25%. So basically he goes 25%, which, Leviathan strings are glowing and such, and basically a light blue greenish color. Which she's like, as it's like, amazing. So after a few minutes, he basically pulls the strings out of the, from the Shadow Realm, which is basically, Leviathan's area. As when he does, she's basically, she was amazed on how well it basically worked. She says it didn't hurt. It felt like I was in a dream. When she started moving her body, she was, what the? How is this? He was like, you feel a lot stronger, do you? Well, all your enhancements that were made to you for the drugs are still there, but basically the mental strain it'll have on you isn't there no more. Nor is it the life threatening. Seems like you'll be able to live a good life, Kuromi. Which, that shocks her, and he goes like, now then, we have to go to the Emperor and the Minister, and tell him our findings. Which, she goes, right. So basically, they get all of Jaeger's squad, with, as if, coming into the meeting, which the Minister was like, huh? Why are you coming here, Commander Esdeath? We didn't call for you. As then, well, the Emperor says, oh, well, she said before she left she wanted to have a meeting with me. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to discuss with you, Minister. It's like, I see. My apologies, Emperor. It was, no, it was my fault. So, basically, as the, Neo's along with everyone else, including Izuku, which, well, she goes, Your Emperor, we have found the location of the wings of dragon that have been eluding us for so long. And which the minister is shocked. Which he's like, excellent. But where are they? He's like, they will be, well, around a month's journey to get to them. And just getting to them is a problem. I had to do extensive research because there's little information since they're the last one made before then the Imperial Wars. Which the Emperor goes like, I see. What is the problem? He was like, what I learned is that we need a king, royal blood, basically, to even activate or even use it properly. Which the minister was like, what? So he's thinking, if this is where I think it's going, I cannot allow this. And basically, as in she does say, so we're going to need you to come with us. I'm sorry if this is inconvenient to the both of you. Where she was like, the minister says, Your Emperor, I do not think it's wise to send you with them. Hold on. So basically, as the Emperor looks at him, he's like, "Why is that?" He's like, "Because we never know what can happen to you along the way." As then, all of a sudden, before the Emperor could even say anything, Izuku, chimes in. He goes like, "Minister, sir. Well, if you do not think about it too much, you will realize that Jaeger will be going with him, basically, accompanying him. And that these are the most elite people here, if you really think about it so far, because the commander has that reputation. So, would you really deny, basically, an opportunity to get such an Imperial's arms that may be into a kingdom that's been long forgotten?" Which that minister's like, and then he adds in, "And plus, if we do exactly the same thing that we did last time, but with a little bit more of a better wagon, the Emperor will be easily saved. Saved. Safe. And nothing bad will happen. And besides, if anything does happen, like his death, you can personally have my head." As he says it with the most, kindest smile on his face, which everyone is shocked, including the minister. He's like, "How can you offer?" He goes like, "Well, I have nothing more than that, my life. So, if you would if you want any more proof, then I wouldn't mind proving it to you right now." Which the minister is like, "Shit, he got me in a corner." Because Esdeff is looking at, the minister with daggers, and he goes, No, that is fine. Yes, your life will be highly more rewarded if anything happens to the Emperor." "What do you say, Emperor?" He's like, "Well, Minister, he does make a point, and plus I think he is right. If it's only my blood that can awaken it, we may be able to use it properly, then we have to have me go. And a small group would be beneficial." Which he's like, "Yes. So, what would it be?" He's like, "I will go. And while I'm gone, you will be in charge. Alright?" He's like, "Yes, your Emperor." And he's just thinking, This that Zuko kid, he really got me into a bind. Just who is he?" As Zuko's and Cerberus and, basically Leviathan are thinking, too easy. And then Leviathan asks, and he goes like, "He was such easy to read." Cerberus basically says, "I agree with you on this one." Well, we always agree. So, it's basically the Emperor stands up saying, "I will accompany you. When will we leave?" Which, well, he basically says, Izef says, in 2 days' time. This will give us enough time to prepare for the road and find a decent enough wagon so that way, you'll be safe. He's like, "Great." So, after they leave and such, Izuku basically cannot sense other people's life force, so they all go into the meeting room of theirs, and they all basically Chrome's like, "I can't believe that worked." Bolo says, "Yes, that's amazing." And Ruin says, How did the minister even give in to us so easily?" And Izuku, "How are you able to persuade him so well?" He was like, "If you really think about it, the Empire is known for basically acquiring certain information on Imperial arms. They had the best ones, but all of a sudden they went missing during the Imperial arms war, correct? So, how bad would it look on him to not have the Emperor himself go to retrieve an Imperial arm that only he may be able to use? So, the Emperor will be able to come with us, and we'll be able to have a little meeting with some people that I'm having planned." Which Mesa currently goes, "Night Raid." He goes, "Uh-huh." So, I hope you all played nice. No trying to kill each other or, well, some people have to go missing. And by that, I mean just disappear into the shadows and you have a good talk with Cerberus or Leviathan. No dying. And it's basically, all of a sudden, Koro comes over and jumps on his lap, and he's like, huh? And basically just grabs Izuku's hand and put it on top of it. He's like, oh, okay. So basically just starts petting him. Which, Seru is like, in Sayori? In Sayori, I think. Sayori. Okay, I was saying it right the first time. Basically, she's like, even still finding out the truth about you, he still wants you to pet him. He's like, yeah, sorry about that. So, after that, 2 days time passes. Izuku went to night raid in those 2 nights and told them about what's happening, which basically, Chelsea is shocked that the Emperor himself was willing to become like a part of the rebellion by still working there, though. Which basically, Nejide is like, huh, you seem to always pull out the impossible, Izuku. He's like, that's what I do. And also, Kami, we have to talk. She's like, huh? Come on, we need to go outside. Which she goes, okay. So, a few minutes pass and they get outside. She goes, what is it? He goes, your sister. She almost was going to die. But her eyes wide. He goes like, how? So he explains what, about the life force he felt, and basically what she told him. And it's basically about the drug side effects of enhancements, basically. And she is shocked, and he was on the verge of crying, but he goes, but I was able to take away all the negativity of those effects. She still has everything that basically makes her such a good person in fighting, but well, she just won't have no minor headaches, and her life is not life threatening anymore. So she's all good. In which then, out of pure emotions, she basically Akane goes over to him and hugs him, and he's like, "Well, this is new for you." She just started saying thank you to him, and then he's like, "Yeah, that's fine. It's nothing to it. Just my normal day's work as a former hero in training." And she was, and basically, Zuki wasn't looking. Akami just grabs his collar and just kissed him on the lips for a few seconds, and basically she lets go and he backs away. He was like, "What was that for?" And she goes, "Thank you. I didn't know how to repay you much than I thought that would work. It's nothing that I can't repay you for saving my sister." He's like, "You didn't have to kiss me." Shit. Remember I told Esdef about how I felt about her. She's like, "You like her?" He's like, "Yeah. Spent time with her for a month and on an island. Didn't really, didn't help." So, she goes, "Oh." Which she does saying, she does look at him and he can already see it. He's like, "Well, shit. I'm sorry." And he does go to her again and he's like, "No, seriously, I'm sorry. I didn't know that's how you felt." She goes, "It's fine." I mean, he goes, "I'll see what Esdef says. But remember, I have to go to a hotel back to my world when this is over. So if we can spend time together and all, then let's try." Which all of a sudden Kami looks happy and she nods her head. And which then he gets back to her Esdef's room, and then he explains what Kami did. And she says, "Well, we're not together, so it's okay." And she goes, "Wait, seriously? Even though, I said I did fall in love with you?" She was like, "Yeah, but like you said, we had to go. You had to go back to your world someday, and I'm okay with sharing anyways." He's like, "Why?" She goes, "If it makes you happy, I'm happy. So don't fight me on this one, Izuku." And she just looks at him, and he's like, "Okay, why do I feel like if I say anything else, I am seriously get frozen. Which Leviathan and Cerberus agrees. Their life is in danger. So basically after that, the day where the whole entire travel will come. And so the minister is wishing them for good luck and to be safe. And he goes, "Don't worry, minister, I'll be fine. Besides, I have the best people here with us. Well, with me. So, and we'll also look for a night raid while we're out." Which he goes, "Thank you. Also, there's a priest, well, based on a religious group, there's a man there called Balak there, and I'm needing, Jaeger to go over and protect him. I'm sorry for this, your highness." It's like, it's no problem, minister. We'll be back in no time. I promise you. Which, well, he looks at Azef and she nods. So basically, they're leaving the castle, and then a few minutes later, they're getting out of the capital. In which, well, the minister is looking out into the distance. He's like, "I can't believe that Izuku kid really did that to me on the spot. I had no choice but to agree to his terms. It seems like, And as Def knows, I've sent, people there to spy on them. She would not trust me no more. So, I can't do nothing." But he really is an interesting fellow. I have to say that much. So, yeah. So basically, while Zuko, and them are traveling, basically, as Dev said, "What's the plan, Zuko?" He's like, "Well, there's a town that's gonna be coming here about 2 hours from now. We'll meet up with, Night Raid there. And basically, you'll meet an old friend, Nejida, as Dev." Which she goes, "I can't believe that I'm actually gonna see her again." Alright. So, is there anything else we need to know? He goes, "Yeah. Karomi, can I just ask you a quick question about your Imperial arms?" He was like, yeah? Isn't it like you control I kind of read up on it. Do you control dead people's body as puppets, right?" She goes, somewhat like that. So, I mean, they're still they're technically dead, but they still have all their quirks and emotions, so it's alright. Basically saying they're just puppets. But I kind of consider them my friends. It's like, okay, well, that's all I need to know. Okay, so what you guys need to know is, yeah, there may be some people that want you guys dead. And, well, basically, in Siru, you have to apologize to Shell. Got it. She goes, "Yes, I understand, brother." It's like, good. So, that's all you guys need to know. So basically, they all nod. Which Wave is like, "But seriously, man, how powerful are you?" He's like, "Well, you'll find out when we get to Night Raid. But just know this much. Any of your attacks you even try to throw at me, I'll never feel the damage. So, yeah." But he's thinking, "But freezing over and my organs get frozen, that can kill me. Which Etha can still kill me." Can't let her know that. Or I think she already does know that. And Rune is just looking at Izuku. He's like, how do quirks work? And he's like, "Oh, it's basically a power you're born with. Basically about 80% of the population had them back in my world, and only 20% did. The only time reason why I'm able to have a quirk even though I was born quirkless is because a one for all was passed down through generation to generation. And the reason why a quirkless can only handle it is because, well, one, the users overworked it to the point where it was overcharged. If it went to a normal person with a quirk, their lifespan would have been shortened. But because I'm quirkless, my lifespan is still the same." Which he was like, huh. So basically, it's like an Imperial arm, but you're born with it, and they can be taken away by this man called All for One. Correct? He was like, So, it's just gonna be a problem. So, yeah, that's how my life is. He's like, huh, well, I mean, you're being hunted down, Wave said. So, I mean, it's kind of shocking that you're just so nonchalant about telling us this. He goes, I'm less stressed out here than anything. Back in my world, if you kill someone, you basically get arrested. Or put into, well, prison, as you will call it. And serve out your sentence there, not get executed. Which everyone just, like, look at each other and, well, then Bala says, I mean, your world's totally different from ours and seems way more advanced. So, I mean, the laws there are probably more, well, all fair, but not really. He goes, uh-huh. Criminals get punished for what they've done, but they can easily get out of prison anytime they want, or at least try to, while serving their sentence. But the dangerous ones go to this place called Tartarus. They're staying there mostly for life, it seems like. It's just one thing after another. So, basically, when they get to the town that basically, instead of fighting Night Raid, basically they losing Bale from Chelsea. Ball, losing Ball from Chelsea and stuff. It's pretty, shocking because they just he legit just leads them to a place that they all can go and talk to, basically in an apartment building. Well, technically, yeah, apartment building you call it, or slash hotel. So when they basically get to the room, he knocks on it, and so, well, when they open the door, all Night Raid's there, and basically Nejida is like, as deaf, and then she goes, Nejida, please. Nejida says, or Kate the boss, says, have a seat. In which they all do, which then, well, she goes, where's the Emperor? He's right here. As he comes out from behind Izuku's like, hello there, Night Raid. Which, well, they're like, some people are saying, technically mine and Lobach are saying this is the first time I've seen him. It's like, yeah, I know. Izuku is right. When I say he's a kid emperor, I didn't mean he was actually a kid. So this would have been bad if we killed him. This would have been, I would really feel bad on my conscience, which Leona is like, so, this is the emperor. Which the emperor says, uh-huh. And you are all a Night Raid. I see through Izuku's memories that what you do is actually help out people. And I try and want to keep the Empire safe. Well, basically the capital safe, and the people in it. But we have a common enemy. And, well, for realizing my own drawbacks and inexperience, I let a man rule it. Well, I was just, blindly following him. So, I want to say I will join the rebellion. Even if they still want my head, I'll still join. Which, Nejida, says, I already talked to the higher-ups about that, and they were surprised by you saying you would join. So, one of the rebellion leaders said you wouldn't. But, through the track record of, my one of my members here, they had faith in him. And which, I'm saying at least one who has an imperial arm that allows them to do long distance communication. Basically, comes through the door, and they say it just shows a image of the leaders of the rebellion. He was like, "So, Emperor, you said you'll join." He goes, "Yes, I'm still inexperienced, and I was only put on the throne just to be a puppet for the minister." He's like, "I see. So it looks like our plans do have to change. We thought it was just you who were basically making the laws and everything that's been going wrong." He was like, "No, the minister has been by my side ever since, and he taught me everything I know, to always believe in him, never to doubt him. And as I see it now, I was blindly following a man who only cared for the power of his own self and for the wealthy, not about the people. So, that is why I'm joining. Not to save my own life, but to save my people." So, if you, as basically the one who doubted Izuku, just says, uh, Your Highness, it's, basically he bows and he was like, I'm sorry I ever doubt you want to join us, but we won't go after your head. If, well, the minister's captured or killed, you will try to have someone teach you the right ways. Nejida replied to it. And, well, then all of a sudden Izuku was like, is Bulat still unconscious? Which, well, all of a sudden Bulat, basically comes in the door. He's like, hey, did I miss anything yet? Which Izuku was like, bro, you're awake. He was like, yes, sorry for coming in so late. It's just I had to go for a walk after so long. It's like, it's fine. He was like, basically one of the rebellion leaders was like, Bulat, I see you're awake and running now. Good. And you must be Izuku. I heard a lot of good things from Nejida about you. You saved 2 of the Night Raid members, and it seems you got, Esdeath to be on your side. Even the Emperor. It looks like this rebellion of ours is gonna be swimming very well in our favor. He goes, yeah. I'm only here for one reason. He's like, to destroy the great evil that would have came to us upon this land. He was like, yeah. Basically, asked, Cerberus and Leviathan, he was like, is it changing? It's like, yes, this seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. The great evil we, saw or sensed is still from the minister and his plans, but it seems the face that we saw, as you can say, basically, well, he's trying to, sorry, words not forming right. Anyways, Cerberus says, Leviathan, it's like, you're right, he goes, the problem we sensed, it seems like it's being dealt with, so, when it all ends, you'll be going home. He goes, I know. So anyways, Sword Rebellion leader, the one who basically started it all, he's like, what would you like in return? He was like, nothing. I'm only doing this just to help out. I don't need nothing in return. Besides, anything you even try to give me will never even come back with me. Which he was like, huh? He goes, doesn't matter. You'll never believe me. So, do we have a deal with the Emperor? And he goes, yes. And so, but Izuku does make one thing clear. He goes like, if I find out that someone's gonna try and assassinate him before, well, I leave the capital, I'll come hunt you guys down and kill every one of you. Got it? Which everyone was shocked that Izuku even would say that, besides Night Raid, and, Jaeger's shot. Which, he's like, they all can see Izuku's dead serious. Which they not, and he was like, we would never have done that. Which, he was, good. Basically the one that didn't believe in Izuku said, they would never do that. He's like, good. Good to hear. Now, I think we're all done. Right? Which they all nod. So, the communication was cut. We go to the leaders, as they like, that boy threatened us with such, calmness in his eyes, without any fear. As the other one says, yes, he could easily kill us, even if we hid. Which the other one was like, okay, you guys are right, not to send any assassins after that kid. I mean, we would have sent Night Raid, but since he works for them, they wouldn't have gone after him, but anyways. Oh, man, I just thought of, basically being executed. Which both those leaders pat this guy on the shoulder, like, you're welcome. So, going back to it. Anyways, which, as this is, so, Nejida, where are you going? Which, Nejida says, we are going to assassinate a man called Balak. He's basically using the church because of the minister, which, well, basically the Emperor says, so that's why he wants Younger to go there to protect him from you, which basically they all nod. Susanoo is like, comes back with some food and he's like, here you go, which, as this kind of shocked, and he's like, "Who is he?" Which, well, if Izuku just says Imperial Arm, that's all. Basically, his food's great. There's no poison in it. He wouldn't do that. He's basically was assigned to be a butter cook, basically for any royalty. So, which, as if is just eating some food, and she's shocked by this, including everyone else. Which, though, Kuromi has been looking at Akami, Akami has been looking at Kuromi, and well, you know. So they go on about why he needs, well, Bullock needs to be killed and stuff, which at the end of it, the Emperor's like, so this is how the people really act, and why some things. I wonder why some people hate the Empire, like the capital. There's no one. You really can't make everyone happy, but this is just too much. Which Izuku does say, yeah, it is, and everyone agrees with that. So, well, basically Izuku's like, so since Jaeger and Night Raid are working together, I say we kind of formulate a plan. Which they all look at him and ask, like what? He was like, well, we kind of make it look like we're trying to kill each other. Each one would basically fight some people, but we won't kill. But we won't necessarily kill. We'll just make it very, very more convincing to the point where, well, if he has any back route to escape, we just have some people take care of him. Which, as I was saying, what a genius and cunning plan. I like it. Which, well, the boss, aka Nejida, agrees. So, Kuromi drags Akami over, and to a side of the room that they can't hear, and just says, "Hey sis, I think he already told you what happened to me, right?" Which Akami does nod, and she goes, "But I'm cured now, so it's all great." And well, she goes, "I know. I couldn't thank him enough for what he did." Because yeah, Izuku really is amazing. Which Akami just looks at her, and well, she just asks, "So, have you met anyone you like?" And she goes, yes, but he's in love with someone else." And she's very overprotective of him. And well, she's basically stronger than me, so I would never have a chance. As Akami just, says, "Wait, don't tell me it's," as well, she covers her mouth. She goes, "No, don't say it out loud." Which, as Dev is was watching them a little bit, and she chuckles. She goes, "So, Kuromi too, huh? This will be quite interesting." Izuku's kind-hearted. He wouldn't want to make anyone upset, so why not? Besides, having them two around will be quite an interesting duo to face me in a battle. And I can help them improve. And she realized, so much potential now. Basically, they're training them, and to make them stronger. They can even help out Izuku get stronger, and myself. Which she goes, choosing this path was, it might have been a good one after all. So, after their little discussion, as Dev, drives them outside and basically explains to them what she's willing to do, which, they agreed. And so, while on the trip, Kuromi, Akami, and Esdif, all in one wagon for Zuku, and some people are, basically with the Night Raid wagons and stuff. Everyone's kind of shocked. He's like, what's happening? So, well, they all just start talking to him, trying to get him know him better and such. And he's like, wow, I didn't know that anything like that even could exist in this world. Thanks for telling me that, Steph. And Akami, you really have a wide selection of meats you like, huh? She goes, anything with meat is good. And well, with Kuromi, he says, so, the only good snack areas to have in any place? He goes, I haven't been much of anywhere, but mostly where I go to, everyone just, dies. But they're having good places where they do have some good snacks. So I'll take you there sometime. It's like, alright. So anyways, so they arrive in the area where the church is and such. And well, let's just say everything will go there from canon with Night Raid and well with the Jaegers, but along with Zuko. So he's just looking at Bollock and he's like, ugh, sickening. But they don't know. Bollock never met the Emperor, I think, so he's like, hey, who might this be? And Zuko's like, oh, this is just well, someone I found on the streets and I took him in. Commander Esdev was Commander Esdev allowed me to have him basically live in the palace. The Emperor even seems to like to have another kid his age, so it was basically a good thing. Which is like, ah, I see. Well, I will. Well, since you're taking care of him, having fun. Just don't have too much fun now. He's like, I won't. So, well, they all get their room and such. No spies are happening. The people who are gonna die are gonna die. You see, Akami kills one assassin that from the her assassination squad. Basically, the one that limbs and body can do some weird stuff. His name. Well, I'm just gonna tell you who's gonna die soon. So, okay, so Ibar, Mez, Steen, Sabaki die. Izuku did help kill Sabaki, but Lobak did kill Nez and Subar, and Akami did kill Ibar. So, those people died in canon, just Tsubaki, died a different way. And, well, and Balak dies in the most freaking, I could say the most badass way possible. While basically Night Raid was doing their attack on him, all of a sudden, Jaeger was doing their thing. As Curstio's arm is around Izuku with the gauntlets, and when the strings wrap around his neck, he's basically being pulled up as he sees him. He's like, "What the? How are you?" As Death sees Izuku, basically, she's like, "Get away from me!" She tries to shoot a spike, basically ice, as then chains come out of Izuku's back, hitting basically the ice that was about to hit him, basically. As then he's like, and he goes, "Not today, as Death. Not today." As then two basically chains go into Bullock's back and kills him because it goes all the way through. As well, he just lets him fall to the ground. He's like, "Have fun," and he just disappears into the shadows. Which as this goes like, mission accomplished. And so as it gets back to the Emperor, and he's like, "How was it?" He was like, "Too easy. Took him from the height, basically the high ground. Use the wires, then use the chains, as that fit her role so perfectly." You probably think, how could as if attacks be blocked or attacked and destroyed? I mean, she was using her full strength, but the chains of Cerberus are stronger than them. But they're not frozen, at least. So, where she was like, "Ah, I see." So, after that, it was reported that he was dead, which, well, the whole entire freaking, minister's pissed. And because I'm not following the canon story, I haven't gone that far yet. But I'm gonna say is they do part ways, which Leona did find out about from Akami. Basically, she just says, "I hope Zuko's okay," because they're doing the attack and such, and she doesn't know what was going on with him. Because he said he'll handle it, and don't worry about him. So yeah. So teased her about saying, "Oh, you have a crush on him," and then she goes, "Uh huh." She's like, huh? Wait, you just admitted openly." She was like, "Yeah, two other girls have a crush on him too." So I decided to share him, which they're like, "Huh?" Yeah, she was like confused as fuck. So yeah. So after they part ways, they do travel on. They do take on some danger beasts and such, so on and so forth. Bulox did not join the fight. Izuku did say he'll get back at Curcio. Actually, no. Before he leaves, he did. Actually, before they started the raid, he gave back a Curcio. But the thing is, he tells him the Curcio is always a part of me. Basically, I think he said he bonded to me. So, watch this as they were outside the whole entire, city. As he yells out, "Hey, Curcio!" As it still happens. As basically the armor of Curcio comes on, but it it looks exactly the same as things. Basically marks on it, basically looks like, Cerberus heads aren't, basically a part of it such. He's like, huh? How is that even possible? He's like, well, the thing is, the armor changed completely, but when you put it on, it'll just be the normal armor. So because of this, the Curcio is technically split off into two different ways, without the power being, drained or different, because it relies on the user's power and increases it greatly. It's like, I see. So that means there's two Curcios. It's suddenly gonna change completely, because this Curcio's armor is kind of combined with everything. It goes, well, technically the transformation of the armor isn't actually at 100%. It's gonna be kind of different. So as soon as I get technically, dragon's wings, the armor will be 100% complete. He's like, you have to show me when it's done. He's like, I will. So basically, they travel the mountains, mountains. They basically made memories and such as Death and Kurama get closer to Izuku, and Wave is just like, huh. Basically, they got close. Also, Chelsea did, talk to Balls, told her about, the whole entire thing about he accepts his karma and such, which she is shocked by. But he says he can't die though, just yet, until see his baby girl grow up. Which, that's touching, so she does say she's sorry she didn't, She basically thought he was just a heartless monster. He was like, not at all, that's how it is with us. And basically in my group, everyone thinks we're just heartless monsters because we burn everyone in our sights. So yeah. So, basically, they get to the mountain, and it, basically not like that couple of weeks and such. And when they do get to the mountain, they can already see the castle. As Yuko was like, alright guys, this is where it is. You guys ready? They all nod. And, well, they travel to the castle. There should have danger beasts in the known location. But Izuku, Wave just says that. He's like, wait, are there supposed to be danger beasts here? Which Izuku then says, no. They can sense a higher form of a danger beast, a stronger one. So, the weaklings ran away. Like, how do you know? Basically, Kurami asks, he was like, it's easy. I can sense dragon's magic. It's overflowing this area. He was ready for us to come. You guys warned him ahead of time, huh? Cerberus, Leviathan. And they do, Leviathan pops up from the ground as Cerberus, comes in the low form. We're like, we had no choice. We do not want anyone to interfere with your fight. He's like, no, that's a good thing. But is he already made? He was like, yes. We already have the arena set up for you, Cerberus says. And he was like, yes, and the wielder of dragons seems to be eager of you. Which, I was shocked by this, even from the Emperor. He's like, wait, how could someone be the wielder of dragon if it's... Well, the only wielder there ever was a Cain, and he should be dead. He was like, oh, there are some things even in this world that you, or us, don't even understand. But dragon always had a funny way to survive anything. Which, Cerberus does not. So basically, when they get to the castle, they basically see the gates is opened, and they hear a voice, someone saying, come in. I've been expecting you. And so, they walk into the castle, travel up the stairs, and see all the you know, the paintings that are well faded, but they can still see some of the beauty in it. And as they're saying, amazing. How was he able to survive, for so long? Izuku says, I don't know, but whatever's gonna happen, this is gonna be dangerous. Be ready to run at any moment, guys. And they all nod. So, well, when he arrives, he sees a man on a throne, but with a wide open, throne room that looks like a circle. He basically, Izuku goes like, "Are you the one who holds the dragon?" And he goes, "And you're the one who holds Cerberus and Leviathan, I presume." He goes, "Yeah. So what?" So the man gets up his throne as Izuku can clearly see, basically, the wings, but also there are horns and his eyes are slit. He's like, I am the one who wields dragon. Basically, you are come here to take my imperial arms. He goes, yeah. So, who are you anyways? He goes, I was a noble king, ruler of my land until the emperor. Okay, it doesn't even say his name, it just says the first emperor. So it goes, when the first emperor made the imperial arms. This was a gift of trust. And even though I fought hard by his side as an ally, he tried his hardest to save my kingdom, but it fell into ruins by the danger beast. Only I was able to survive by becoming dragon. He's like, wait, seriously? Well, not entirely like you have. You see, dragon has informed me of you. You actually have become the Cerberus and the Leviathan itself. Me, the wings can still come off, but my form has actually made me into an actual beast. Not a shadow beast, but still an S-class beast. A dragon. But she's like, no way. A humanoid? He's like, yes. It surprised even myself. On the brink of death, Dragon tried to save me. And he did. But I cannot fly. So, I still need my imperial arms either way. Which is like, well, this is anticlimactic. He's like, huh? What do you mean? He's like, I thought you were just a big bad person because the, menacing atmosphere, the look, and then all of a sudden you're doing a cheerful laugh like it's nothing. Just seems like you're an anime character that doesn't really take anything seriously. Like, I have no idea what that is, but hey, doesn't matter to me. It's just good to have some company after so long. It's been so many years. So, this will be my final fight, it may seem like, but I do not know. Prove me to be wrong thinking I will live. It's like, wait, you mean this is a fight to the death, boy? You have no other choice. Which, Izuku's like, but he's thinking I don't know him, and he has done nothing wrong, it seems like. Which the, Cerberus and Leviathan say to themselves, so, this is what Dragon has in store for him. His true test. For you to alter his mindset was just so he get used to killing, but his true test is this. Am I correct, Cerberus? Which he says, I believe so. It was to help him to get used to it, as it seems. Because he will have to kill this man to take Dragon. To use Diablo's imperial arms. How tricky of a dragon. So, he goes, alright then, boy. Show me what you're made of. As the wings pop out, and, well, he goes, summon out your imperial arms. He goes, fine. As all of a sudden, he gets in a stance, his eyes, turns into, like, what, Tatsumi's eyes would be when he's using a Curcio, and then he yells out, Curcio! Basically, as the whole entire thing happens with the Curcio coming out, the mask breaking, looking like the actual, beast, well, face was. But then all of a sudden, it's getting covered in chains, and then wires looking like, and that, like, this is different because this never happened. And then it looks like the armor that Zuko would wear, as when it, the chains go around him, or basically the energy goes around him, it just changed into that. He goes, interesting. So, this is the true might of the combination that Dragon said you can do. He goes, yeah. Ikushio's armor transforms. Basically, Izuku looks like he has like a hood with a ripped cloth, basically, and then like the whole entire mask for Ikushio is actually just like a skeleton face, and the armor is way more. How can I say this? It's not the same, but it looks like there's like a lot more protection and it's stronger. It's like, interesting. Summon out your weapon. As basically, all of a sudden, like the king basically has a fire blade in his hand. Izuku basically just takes out his, Idril sword that's changed. He goes, this may be a battle for the ages. Let's go. So he goes, you may go first. So Izuku says, wrong choice. So he basically dashes towards him, and when Izuku, not using a waterfall, makes a slash, the king blocks, and well, there's a shockwave of, wind going towards the wall as it cuts it. And Izuku was thinking, shit, I use 100% of both physical strength and speed, which, well, he goes, interesting. It seems you're giving me quite a struggle, and you left a mark on me. Or should I say, you made me bleed a little. Which then he pushes Izuku back. He was like, my skin became just like dragon scales of dragon, and he's able to, well, not be pierced by anything, or even slashed. So that means you must be stronger than me. Time for me to at least go more than 25% of my power. So, as all of a sudden, flames start to come off of him, the wings start to shine. There's not even a moonlight, but it looks like the moon is, and then all of a sudden the feathers go flying off, which Rune is thinking, wait, it's just like my imperial arms. As, well, it was, try to dodge these, boy. As all of a sudden, basically the feathers that were flown into the air, basically suddenly go down towards Izuku. As he's dodging them all, as he's basically seeing them pierced in the ground, but they always come back up. Like, it's like an endless void of, like, feathers and him just dodging. Basically, he was like, shit, I gotta use it one for all. So he goes up to, like, 25%, and basically he's able to get out of there. The overwhelming force of the feathers and such goes towards the king, and then as the king goes towards Izuku, basically they just keep on fighting. And basically each time the sword clashes, makes this a shockwave. As he goes, yes, show me more! Basically, as the Izuku just, oh, shut up! And basically headbutts him. As he gets him flying, Izuku just jumps forward, using the threads, pulling him towards him, knee him in the stomach. And, well, the king just laughing more. So Izuku and him keep fighting for the next couple of minutes. Everyone is shocked by this. As Def and Chromie can't believe how strong he is. Izuku basically grabs the guy by his neck, flying upwards as everyone's on like, he can fly! In which, well, they get off the ground into the air as he lets him go, his own wings flapping. He's like, good. You have a good instinct. It seems, he was right about you. You are worthy to use every Imperial arms that Shadow Beast. He's like, wait, I know you know about the beast, but and Dragon. Then he goes like, who do you think have killed them, boy? I was not able to use them, but only one. Well, basically, my old friend, the first emperor, could only have two. It was a gift to show the sign of our friendship. And like I already said, everything I told you was true. So, answer me this. What would you do with this power? Use it to control the world, and conquer it, or to protect everyone from the shadows, in both worlds? What? How do you? Was like, I'm connected to Diablo, so anything he sees, I see. Say, honest question? He goes, yes. I'll use the power to stay in the shadows and protect everyone around me. Anyone that I can. I don't care about conquering. I don't care about ruling. I just want to protect the people I care about. It's like, I see. Well then, come at me. Basically, Zuko, well, basically is charging up one fall 100%, which basically purple / violet flames are coming off of him. The water around his feet is like, coming like moving really fast. Looks like now it just looks like actual water armor now on his legs. The markings coming more, being bigger as he was like, all right, then you asked for it. So he basically goes in full speed ahead as, well, the king cannot see Izuku. He was like, so I die here today. Goodbye, Diablo. You have been a good friend. And Diablo says, and you have been a good partner. I wish you luck in the next life. He goes, same with you. And well, Izuku does kill him, slashing at him, cutting downwards towards his from his chest. As he basically the king had a smile on his face, dying. Izuku though knew he had to kill him, but inside his head he's like, this doesn't feel right. Why did he have to die? Just why? And even though he was so used to it, he did feel sometimes not okay with some of the kills, but especially this one wasn't that easy. He really did not want to kill him, but well, he had to. This was a test. So he doesn't know that though. So basically, when the king's falling, Zuko dives down, catching him, and then slowly landing and putting him down. The king says, "Take my wings, protect this world from the great evil," and burn smile to everyone's face in your own world. Zuko does not. So basically, the wings are basically not strapped on, so it's basically attached. So when he does remove them, it comes off very easily. As basically he how can I say this? All of a sudden they basically come out of his hand. It goes on and becomes an actual same thing like magic coming off him, goes onto Izuku, and then liquefy launching onto himself, basically in the armor form. But then while he's in armor form, the armor is becoming different, changing and morphing, and all of a sudden, basically they all can see wings pop out of the armor. But well, because Izuku wasn't screaming because it wasn't really that painful no more. So when basically the wings pop out in the armor, it looks like there's a cloak covering him. And the armor looks more with claws and or bones. And he goes, you look like something from a book of gods. Which is, he was like, huh? With that armor on. The god of death. Which she kind of realizes that's what people were calling him. So he dies with a smile on his face. He was like, good luck to you, Zuko Midoriya. And basically he dies. So Dragon says, you did well. I'm sorry it had to come to this. And Zuko just says in his head, was this a test? Was it? And he does say, again, I'm sorry. but you were worried if you couldn't kill someone without a reason. You didn't have a reason to kill him, but it was the only way to get what you needed. But remember this feeling. Sometimes it is necessary to kill, and you will feel regret, but never look back, Izuku. This is the path you will take when you take someone's life. Remember this feeling, this pain, this regret, and mourn for their loss afterwards. But Izuku nods. So when the armor comes off, people can see he's, technically crying a little. So as if, goes over to him. Shirei knows that he feels like crap. Well, Kuromi. So, well, the Emperor basically, does say, let's bury him and mourn for him, which everyone nods. So basically they do that. And after that, basically they go back to the wagon, they get in it, and they start leaving. So basically Wave's like, hey, Zuko, you fine? Even the Emperor was concerned, even Ball, and Esdef and basically Kuromi. He's like, somewhat. I killed so many people. Oh yes, and Siru. Forgot to mention her. Because I killed so many people. But this, I didn't have no reason. He wasn't no monster. He was just someone that I needed something from. And I didn't have a choice to kill him, but it was a test. It was a test for me to see if I could kill someone without a reason. To see if I have grown and became stronger to rely on my skills. It's just... Which Denver says, sucks? He goes, yeah. It was, well, you feel regret, right? He goes, yeah. I just wish I could just, have at least tried to talk him out of this whole entire him dying thing. But I couldn't. I didn't even try to. He goes, why is that? Wave asked. He was like, the look in his eye said it all. He was not going to talk. He wanted to fight to the death. And I just gave it to him. Virgin Siru says, well, it's like you always say, you still have your humanity. So, you can always try to, live on for that person. Which Izuku says, you're right. Thank you, Siru. He's like, no problem. So, Elizabeth says, well, at least now you know you can do your job when you go back to your world. Which Kuromi does that, nod. He says, mm-hmm. And besides, you got even stronger. Let's see what you can do with the new power of yours. Which then Diablo does saying, well, we have to train. So on the way back to the capital, we must work on our bond. He's like, I know. But for today I need a rest. I'm tired. He's like, I understand. Good night to Izuku. He's like, night, guys. Then he looks at everyone saying, hey, I'm gonna take a rest. I really am tired. So he does fall asleep. And everyone just said, Kuromi and Eza just look at him and they, Kuromi basically gets a blanket out of nowhere. Same thing with Esdef getting a pillow. Which everyone just asks, how do you... And they say, don't ask how. Just don't. Which is like, alright then. So, yeah. And basically the Emperor is looking at Zuko saying, we're almost done with this. And soon, the minister will be dead. And I'll have to start making this kingdom a true great kingdom for everyone. I hope I'm ready for the challenge. And I hope I have some good people that stand by my side. So that's where we're ending it off, everyone. I hope you guys have a nice night, day, wherever you are, and bye. This will be coming out when I'm at work. So yeah.